is your signature meal for a busy weeknight? When KSL cooks and morning news anchor Andrew Wittenberg is your chef, it's authentic Mexican street tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. For the final day of our week of cooking with the KSL News team, we're pleased to have Andrew, my partner in crime here in the morning, in the Studio 5 kitchen today. So, street tacos, huh?
What a lot of people don't see when we're on in the mornings and things like that, we're very close. We're like brother and sister, really, more than anything.
Unfortunately.
When we're at home, of course, as you know, and as a lot of our viewers know, we just had a baby, our first child, 8 months ago, Hunter. And so now we have gone to, like, we used to love to cook. We do love to cook, and we love watching all the food shows and everything. Hey, there's Hunter and Wendy and I.
There's
4th
Wendy.
of July. And so we love to cook, but we came up against this problem of liking to cook and doing all the preparation and all of the different things that go into cooking an elegant meal. I love those pictures of Wendy sleeping with Hunter, by the way.
She's so
cute. It is adorable. But now we found a way to sort of do things and do them quickly, that are good, that are a little bit elevated, that also have layers of flavor. So we came up with this.
Street tacos.
Mexican street-style tacos, some carne asada, if you will. And what we've got here is some skirt steak. And a lot of folks don't know, you think maybe a good cut of meat is what it takes to make something taste good. These are relatively cheap cuts of meat. We talk skirt steak, or sometimes they call it flap steak in the stores. And we're just going to marinate this and add in some flavor.
I mean, really, they're only a couple bucks each.
Really great. Yeah, so we've got some olive oil, little salt, little pepper. And then what I tell people a lot, like my family that know that I cook a lot, I cook with like some basic seasonings. Cumin is one right there, a lot of chili powder as well, and then some paprika as well. And then we're going to give this just kind of a good toss in here and get it all good and coated.
You're so natural in the kitchen. Have you always been into cooking? You
know, I have no idea. I just started watching all the Food Network shows when I was like in high school and college. So we've got a pan screaming hot. And it's really important because you want to sear this flavor in, get all that going. It's really, really warm right now, so that's going to start to sizzle. This goes really, really fast, by the way.
This will cook piece of steak,
in just a couple of minutes, really, each side. And you can go for medium rare if you like it. You can go more on the well side. I have family that likes steak cooked pretty well done. So, you know, normally at home with my family in town, I might cook it one way. If it's just Wendy and I, we may go a little bit more rare.
And is it your mother-in-law that's in town right now?
Mother-in-law is in town right now.
Say hi to Mom-in-law.
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Deason is here, and you better not cross Mrs. Deason.
So she'll be impressed with all of this.
Well, she is one of the best cooks, and I've been really lucky that I've got my mom, my grandmother, my mother-in-law, just a wonderful, wonderful cook. So we're going to let this go. Let me give this a flip because this is a really thin piece of meat.
Okay, as you're cooking this next thing, I want you to talk a little bit. Brooke asked me earlier this week about the schedule, and we get up super early. So when do you eat? I told her I eat around like 5 with my family. What about you? Because you go to bed pretty early too.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty early. You know, I go home and I take a nap. Fortunately, our son is still young enough to where he's sleeping in the afternoons.
Andrew, that will not last very long.
I know, that time is limited.
He doesn't even know
yet.
But
what I really like doing is going home right after the noon show and trying to catch a little bit of a cat nap with Hunter if I can. Then I wake up and I'm usually cooking dinner. My wife works like a normal schedule. And so she gets home about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then next thing you know, we're eating dinner. So stuff like this that I can throw together while I'm watching an 8-month-old, and trust me.
Look how he's cooking this onion. This man knows how to chop an onion. That's impressive.
Yeah. You top and tail it. You take the top and the tail off. You're going to make one cross cut. Yeah, I mean, I told you, I watch a lot of cooking shows.
Wow.
And that's how I kind of get into it. So we're going to finally dice this white onion, sweet onion. I think red onion is a little bit heavy on the spice factor for tacos, but you certainly could, and a lot of folks do. We actually saw some people, and I was telling the crew in here before we got going, that we actually saw some people doing this, and you know, we love street tacos. We saw some people doing this, in Mexico, and that's kind of the inspiration for it. I've also got a bunch of cilantro, super cheap, super easy to find. You can find it everywhere. Rough dice on this.
And then you're just making basically just a fresh pico.
You got it.
Pico right here.
Fresh little garnishment to go on top, and it's a rough chop. I mean, you don't have to be anything specific. But I mean, what, we've been here for 3 or 4 minutes. You got this. I've already got some steak in there.
Andrew was like wheeling and dealing in the kitchen. This man knows what he's doing.
Josh, come over here. I want to show you one more thing that's very important with these cuts of meat. You want to cut across the grain. Everybody's had a taco or a quesadilla where you get this real chewy piece of meat. You'll see in these little skirt steaks, these carne asada, this flap steak, you can see a grain in there, and you want to go across the grain when you're cutting this. That's just about the only other matter of importance here, because what will happen is, and my friend Chef Leslie from Harmon's would tell me, it just kind of pulls apart, rather than being the other way where it would actually be stretchy and you had to chew it and pull in your mouth.
This just kind of breaks apart in your mouth. Okay, so let's put this taco together, the street taco.
So we've got our steak. Let's pretend. Actually, here, we can do this because these guys are done.
Want me to pull your plate over?
Sure. I've got a little bit of meat in there already. we'll kind of load those guys up a little bit more. I got one more piece here.
You're gonna throw on your
But yeah,
fresh.
this is huge to be able to cook this in just a matter of a few minutes, and it's not hard. And if you know how to cook the meat, again, doesn't take 2 to 3 minutes. That is really helpful. My wife and I love this. Little onions on top, little cilantro as well.
Andrew, I am so impressed with you.
Really, you're
Seriously.
impressed with me.
I am seriously impressed with you.
She
and
gives
I know
me such a hard time. And then last little bit, I always go for some salsa here on top, just for a little flavoring, a little extra. And I love the Salsa Queen salsa right now. They're local, and they're right here in Salt Lake City. And their stuff is fantastic.
It smells fantastic.
Their pico and their red chili sauce is just delightful. So
Andrew Wittenberg.
Mexican style street tacos.
I feel like I should give you a little. Wow,
Thank
who
you.
knew?
Who would have known?
Andrew Wittenberg could cook so well.
Who would have known? I don't
I'm
want to get
impressed.
this. We got to feed the crew here,
Okay.
Cher. That's the best thing about working in TV is you got to take care of the crew. So I want to make sure I burn that steak for later.